Good evening, everybody. Rotting food scraps and yard waste, 80,000 tons of it. You can imagine what that smells like on a hot day like today.
Oh, it is what is sitting at a now closed composting company, and neighbors say the stink is often unbearable. As Angenette Levy reports, there is now a plan to clean up the site, but it's going to get worse apparently before it gets better. Angenette, if I remember right, you did the Rumpke story earlier this week. Now you're doing the composting story. Something smells a little funny about this.
Apparently there's a lot of smelliness going around the city, Cammie, all different parts of it. Today we're in Winton Hills, and there's a walking tour of this site that's about to start. As you can see, there are people heading out behind me, and I spoke with the environmental compliance officer for the city of Cincinnati just a few minutes ago, and she told me, as you mentioned, that smell that the neighbors have been complaining about for some time is going to get worse before it gets better because of the process that they're going to have to go through to clean up these piles of rotting vegetables and food. They're basically going to have to stir this whole thing up to clean it up. And as you can see, there are those huge piles all over the place. Right now it doesn't smell too bad, and that's because the city says it's been working to kind of alleviate some of those smells. The company, Cincy Compost, operated on this property until February, and that's when the city decided they were going to lock the company out. That environmental compliance officer talked to me a little bit about what they're going to have to do to clean up the site.
We will be processing the compost on site. Some of them are much further along in the process than others, and so part of this is getting in and determining if they have the right ratio of nutrients. So there might be some additives required to get the process restarted.
All right, so the good news, as you heard there, is that they're going to start cleaning up the site. The bad news is that in that process of stirring up all of these piles and getting that composting process to start again, that smell is going to begin to waft around to the neighbors. Unfortunately, there's not much that they can do about that because this is all part of that process to get this site back in good working order. Now, I asked about whether or not the city has any recourse to be reimbursed by that company for the damage they've caused to this site. She wouldn't go into much detail, but she said the city's legal department is working on that. Reporting live from Winton Hills, Angenette Levy, Local 12 News. Cammie?
All right, Angenette, thank you. And the public hearing on this issue begins at 6 o'clock at the Elmwood Place Town Hall on Vine Street, and we'll have it covered for you and have the latest at 11.